Hi everyone, welcome to today's live. Sorry for the slight delay, so there's some technical issues just now. Okay, so today we're going to cover like the lesson 2 and lesson 3 of the foundation Mandarin. And before that, I want to start with the Mandarin tones again. So in case you missed our last week's live, so let's go through this. Okay, so why do we emphasize Mandarin tones this much is because the pronunciation is important, but it's not as important as the tones itself, because the tones can decide whether you sound like a native or foreigner. Okay, so the first step is always to calibrate your voice. So the first step, when you want to say the highest speaking pitch, so can you try to find it? If an English speaker, you can try to say maybe, or if in other languages, try to locate the highest pitch when you speak, not the singing voice, but the speaking voice. Okay, I guess you have that. Okay, once you have that, the next one is to locate the lowest, like wow. Those kind of low. So once you have the highest and the lowest, and how about the natural one, like when you let out a sigh or like a ah, so that is a natural range. So once you have these 3 pitch points, so you can locate the highest, maybe your lowest, well, those very low ones, and the middle range, the natural range, like ah. And you'll be ready to do this. So let me move this a little bit. Okay. So we always say the first tone, 音频, is like very high and flat. It doesn't drop. So ah, your highest speaking voice, highest speaking pitch. Ah, that is your first tone. So remember that. And your second tone, we start from the natural range and we go up to your highest. So it's like a climb, like ah, ah. Or you can think of when somebody call you in surprise, like huh, like ah. So that is the second tone. And the third one, you start from slightly lower than your natural range and go all the way down to the bottom and then go up again. So the third tone is normally the hardest for all the beginners, because it is very, how to say, like like a roller coaster. You have to go down and go up again, and it does change with different vocabularies when the third tone is put with other tones. So we can discuss that later. So you can do ah, so go down ah, and go up again. Okay, so that is the third one. So we will have a practice later. And the fourth tone is kind of a bungee jump. So you have to go from the highest point to the lowest one and fast. So you have to go ah, ah. Okay, so that is all the 4 tones. And if you have any questions during the live, you can just type it in the comment. I will try to address your question along the way. Okay, so that is the 4 tones. So last time we did some pronunciation exercises. So this time we have a different one. So the third tone, remember, is the hardest. So let's start with the third one. So rice, mi. So can you say that? Mi. So from it's very low. Just think of the lowest ones, and it goes with twist. So mi. Okay. And if you're learning HSK1 or the beginners, you have to encounter this word, like rice, right? The cooked rice. They say fan. Fan. So it's the fourth tone. You have to go from your highest range to the lowest range fast. So fan. And if you put them together, it's cooked rice. So mi fan. Have you noticed the difference of the third tone, like when these 2 words are put together side by side? So the mi, we will not say mi fan. It's too hard and it takes time. So we just go low and without the rising part. So you say mi fan, mi fan. If you say fast, mi fan, it's not mi Fun. It's too tiring, right? Okay, so that is this. And another word. So this is why we say tones are so important, because besides from sound like a native, we don't want people to misunderstand us. If you change the tone, like the meaning can change completely. For example, if you change the third tone to second tone and say fan, 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 you can guess from the emoji. Fan is like annoyed and like frustrated, or something like something is bothering you. So that is fan. Sorry, there's a question. Is mi means object prepared? Actually, mi is the actual rice, the grain, the rice. Fan, it can be cooked meal or something. So if you put mi and fan together, it means cooked rice. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so if you say, if you want to express that, like something is really, really bothering you, like I'm so tired of it, so you can say 烦死了. So 烦死了. Why do I put this phrase? Is because I want you to practice the third tone again, right? The third tone is bothering all of us. Like the third tone is 烦死了. So you don't say 烦死了, no. You can see the dot 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 on the le because that is a natural tone, so just without the tones. It's just a very natural, like in the middle range. So you can say 烦死了, 烦死了. Okay, and if you see like how do we really put the tones together in a sentence, you can really say it, you can really see like how the Chinese language is tonal. It's really like with the ups and downs. Why it is difficult. Actually, the tones are the most difficult part of the language. It's not the grammar, not the Hanzi, and not the other things. What I feel it's the tones, because for beginners or for all the Chinese learners, like they can learn the language for years and they can still struggle with the tones. It's because they don't like put enough time on practicing the tones. They think it's not important, but it is. Okay, so let's do this. So if you say the fourth tone, first tone, third tone, and fourth tone again, how do we say that? Like just when you are singing, you have to remember the tunes, right? Like in order to sing the song in tune. So fourth tone, bungee jump, yo. And the first tone, high and flat, chi. The third tone, but when it's put with other words, we just go low, mi. And fourth tone again, fan. So you can practice, start with a very slow speed, just like when you practice like a musical instrument, don't go fast first. So 右, 吃, 米, 饭. And once you have that, like once you have the tunes in your head, you can start to slowly like speed up a little bit, like 右吃米饭. And once you feel very comfortable with these tunes, these pitches, then you can say 又吃米饭. Right? So there's a slow, gradual practice stage. And if we put everything together, like Maya, like it's like gosh, like oh my god, oh my mom. And 又吃米饭, 烦死了. So can you see the ups and downs? Like I try to put the tones in a visual way for you to see like how the pitch changes like along the way. So 妈呀, right? 又吃米饭, 烦死了. Can you try to practice that? And it's kind of like a funny sentence, like, if you give me like rice every day, like I will be so sick, like tired of it. So 妈呀，又吃米饭，烦死了. Because that is how tones work. And if you have any questions like regarding the tones, we can go through that later. Okay. So remember last time we did like self-introduction and say your hobbies. So today we're going to do a little bit of revision of the numbers, because numbers are the most difficult things in foreign languages. So if you think you can count in Chinese, let's count together. So starting from 0, we have 零 零 一 一 二 二 R is kind of with a rolling tongue, like R, not You know, you will hear some of the people from southern China, they will pronounce as And then 三 三 四 四 and pay attention to the tones more than the pronunciation. 五 is really low, 五 and then 六 六 七 七 八 八 九 九 十 十 Okay, so that is 0 to 10, and because we love math, so when we count 11, like up until 19 is just summation. So 11 is just 10 plus 1, 十一 and can you do like 12? So 10 plus 2, 十二 十三 十四 and all the way to 十九 and then 二十 right, it's just 2 tenths. So we do 二十 二十 and all the in-between numbers is summation again. For example, 七十 7 tenths is 70 and 71 70 plus 1 71 would be 71. Okay, so I hope you get the rules. I think it's much neater than a lot of the Western languages because they all have different ways of calling the teens, the tens, the hundreds, but we do have very neat ways to count. Okay, so sorry, let me just move a little bit. Okay, so now we'll have the bigger ones. So in Chinese, we really group them like in the zeros in fours, not in threes. So you will say 100 is 百 100 200 300 400 500. So that is 百 and when you have 3 zeros, that's 1,000. So we have 千 千 千 and then because we group the zeros like in fours, so we don't really say 10,000 like 10,000. We'll say 1. So it's a brand new unit. 1. And we have 10,000. That's 100,000, right? 10,000. And then for million, we have, because it's 6 zeros, but 6 zeros is 2 plus 4. So that is 百万. 百万. And for the even bigger ones, we have E. So that is 8 zeros, which is 100 million. So E. So that is all the very big units. And there's one more difference between Chinese and English because we don't. We do pronounce the zeros in between. So that is one thing to take care. For example, 105. We don't say 105, we say 105. 105. So the 0 is very important. If you say 105, that is 150, not 105. How about this one? 10,005. So that is 1005. So no matter how many zeros in between, we just pronounce it once. So we say 1005. And similarly here, so if you have 10,050, we say 1050. 1050. And the 15 is a bit different. We don't say 115. We pronounce the 1. So we say 115. 115. Okay, so that is revision from last week's revision. The supermarket one, we can do it later, and we can move on to something new first. Okay, so last time we did about the days of the week or the month, like all the dates, right? So within the day, we do separate them like into like roughly like 4 quadrants. So for example, like we can start from the 0 o'clock, like the midnight, we say that is 午夜, 午夜. So it's kind of like in the middle of the night. And like in the early AM, we say 凌晨. For example, 3 AM, we would say 凌晨3点. 凌晨3点. And after we wake up, normally from like 6 or 7, we will say that is 早上. 早上. And when the sun rises, before noon, we'll say 上午. So for example, 上午10点, that is morning 10 o'clock. 上午10点. And lunchtime or in the middle of the day, we'll say 中午. 中 means the middle, so 中午. 中午. And then afternoon, we'll say 下午. 下午. And the night, which is lump sum into 晚上. 晚上. So when you want to describe, the AMs and PMs, it is slightly different in Chinese. We don't really have a word for AM and a word for PM. So instead, we do separate them into different parts of the day. So if you want to emphasize, it's 3 p.m., not 3 a.m. So you can say 下午3点. And 3 a.m. will say 凌晨3点. So I think this will be a very useful graph for all of you. So you can use this to make sure you understand. Okay, I think okay, so let's go back to this. So once you know, the days, once you know the numbers, you will know how to name all the dates and weekdays of the week and even the month. So because we love numbers, so we do really the first day of the week, which is Monday, so we just label it as 星期一. 星期 is week, so first day of the week, 星期一. And the second day, Tuesday, 星期二. 星期二. So that is why numbers are so important in Chinese. And then the third day, Wednesday, 星期三. 星期三. And the fourth day, Thursday, is 星期四. 星期四. And then Friday is the fifth day, 星期五. 星期五. And Saturday, the sixth day, 星期六. 星期六. And Sunday is the seventh day, which is special, like really the sun, or like the sky or the god, day of the god. So it's like 星期日 or 星期天. And for the 月, it's all the months, so you can just see like the first month is 1月, up until the 12th month is December. Okay, so that is 1月 to 12月. Once you know all of this, when somebody asks you, like 今天是几月几号? 几 is a question word to ask about numbers. So you can answer, what is the date today? So you can answer, today is 7th of March the 7th. So we do say the bigger units first, but like month, year first, followed by month, and then the date. So 3月7号 is today. So 今天是3月7号. 今天是星期几? Like which day of the week? 星期六. 星期六. 那现在几点了? Roughly 9:30 in Singapore. So we say 9点. 点 is a clock, an hour. 30分. 9点30分. Or if you want to say like 9:30, you can say 9点半. 9点半. Okay, so that is all the numbers. Okay, so let me try to do something else. If you have any question, you can just type in the comment. I'll just quickly add something. Okay, so before we go on, so let's do this. So 现在几点了? So if you want to say 9:34 p.m., how do you say that? So p.m. we say 晚上, like the evening. We say 晚上9点34分. Okay, so that is, so once you have the formula, we just put everything in. So all the notes are downloadable, like in our Patreon page. So today's notes, I think it's already on, and I think it's for all free and paid members. Okay, so let's do something different today. Okay, so what I feel like, actually colors are quite important when you first want to learn a language, because we want to describe something, like what kind of color is that. So the different types of colors, we can go through that first. So 颜色 is color in general. 颜色, second tone and fourth tone, so go up and go down again. 颜色, and you can observe, like for majority, we'll say something 色. So which means the color is the word in front, and 色 is just color. So instead of saying 红, we say 红色, red color. 红色, red color. Orange, actually 橙子 is just the orange, the fruit. So 橙色 is orange color. And then 黄色, that's yellow. 黄色. And then this one is a bit tricky. So green is 绿, like the yu sound. 绿色 is green. 绿色. And then blue, 蓝，蓝色，蓝色。And then purple, 紫色，紫色。White, 白色，白色。And black, 黑色，黑色。Gray, 灰色，灰色。Gold, 金色，金色。And silver, 银色，银色。And then pink, 粉红色。It's like a powder red. 粉红色。Brown, 棕色，棕色。If you want to describe like it's dark something like dark green, we can say 深绿色. So put the dark in front, like 深蓝色 like dark blue or navy. 深 what else? 深棕色 dark brown. And then opposite is 浅 浅 it's light. So we can say 浅灰色 light green. 浅灰色. And 深 and 浅 apart from meaning dark and light, they also mean like deep and shallow. And for rainbow, we have 彩虹, 彩虹, that is rainbow. Okay, so once we have that, we can do this. So, if you want to download, you can go to our Patreon page. I think it's the newest post. I've already uploaded. The new ones, maybe lesson 4 onwards, I will upload later. So you can go to the Patreon page. I think there's a link in the live session's description as well. Okay, and remember like in lesson 1 when we describe our hobbies, like 喜欢 means like, right? So you can say 我喜欢, for example, if 我喜欢红色, I like red color. So you can tell me like you know, what's your favorite color, like in the comments. 你喜欢什么颜色？你喜欢什么 is what? 你喜欢什么颜色？ And if you want to say something negative, or I don't like something, just put the 不 in front of the 喜欢. So 我不喜欢黑色。我不喜欢黑色。I don't like black color. Can you see like the sequence of the words are exactly the same as English? Like I don't like black color, exactly the same. And when you want to ask like, so what color do you like? 你喜欢什么颜色？什么 is the question word. What? 你喜欢什么颜色？ This is something quite different from English, because in English we put the question word in front, but in Chinese we kind of like replace the original place of the answers with the question word. So because if you observe the first sentence, 我喜欢红色, like the person or the subject, 喜欢 is the action, and then the 红色 is the 颜色. And instead, when you ask the question, replace the 我 with 你 you. 喜欢 is the same place, and then replace the 红色 with 什么颜色 what color. So effectively, it's just you like what color. So you will notice in my previous like HSK recordings, I like to put like you know, the direct English translation or the literary English translation or the word-to-word English translation. It is to, you know, to really tell you like how do we construct a sentence, like how does the sequence of the word work. But I think some of you will find it quite hard to understand because all the words are jumbled up. It's not perfect English. So I did some like updates. So in the newest videos, I would just put, you know, like perfectly translated English, and with the English audio. So that is for you to, you know, some people they prefer to listen on the go, or they prefer, you know, to understand the language in their native way. So I understand that. So it depends on you. So maybe when you do your own notes, you can write down 你 like underneath 你 like your native language. You 喜欢 you can write like. 什么 you can write what. 颜色 is color. So in your head, when you want to make Chinese sentences, you will know, okay, so I need to, you know, put the words in this sequence, not the 什么 first. Okay, so when you want to describe something is what color. So this way, the sequence is, I think it's the same as English. So you would say, for example, my dog, 我的狗, like 我的 is mine, like 我 is I, plus the 的 will become possessive, like 我的狗, 狗 is dog, 是 is like is, like the be verb. 我的狗是白色的 white color. The 的 is kind of changing the 白色 to an adjective. So 我的狗是白色的. So this is kind of like you can treat it as a formula. So I always want to like remember a sample sentence or the example sentence and try to replace the parts to make my own sentences when I learn a foreign language. So for example, you can replace, for example, I can say, 我的电话 my phone 是黑色的. Can you see the formula? How does that work? So can you make a sentence? Like, I can take another one. Okay, so this one, 我的笔 my pen 是蓝色的 is blue. So can you see something like your something is what color? Yeah. And if you want to say like I have a white color dog, you can say 我有 I have 我有一只. I know the measure word in Chinese is so messy, like we use different kinds of words for different objects. I have to admit that is one part that is more difficult than English. But in English, we also have like a piece of paper, like when you count different things, we do have that. It's quite similar, you just need to get used to it. For example, animals, we tend to use, the small animals, we use 只. So, 一只狗, 两只狗, 三只狗, 四只狗. We'll go to counting later. So, 我有一只, but you have to put the description in front of the dog. So, 我有一只白色的狗. Remember, the 的 is to change the 白色 to an adjective, to something descriptive. So, 我有一只白色的狗，我有一只黑色的狗，我有一只粉红色的狗. For example, I have a pink dog. And how do I say I have a black phone? So 我可以说我有一个个 is like a more general counting word. So 我有一个黑色的电话，我有一个黑色的电话。And then I can ask you like 你的电话 your phone 你的电话是什么颜色的？什么颜色 what color？ 你的电话是什么颜色的？你的狗是什么颜色的？你的衣服your shirt or your clothes 你的衣服是什么颜色的？ So you can like from here like you can make all kinds of sentences. Just try to play with the words. If you have any questions, you can just like ask in the comment. I'll try to answer. Okay, so that is the color, and we always like to do small talk about the weather. So we can say 今天 today, 天气 the weather, 怎么样？怎么样 is how. Like 今天天气怎么样？ And then you can say 今天很very 今天很热 热 is hot 凉快 is like a very cool, very chilling. And then 冷 is cold. So you can say 今天很热 or 今天很凉快今天很冷 So 新加坡今天很热 Like Singapore is always hot. So 今天很热 And you can say today is sunny or cloudy. So 今天是晴天 For example, 晴天 is sunny. 今天是阴天 is cloudy. So 今天是晴天还是今天是阴天 And when you want to describe, it's raining or it is snowing, you can say 下雨了雨 is raining, it's rain. And if you look at the Hanzi, it's quite interesting. It's like a window with like raindrops on it. So 下雨了 like it's raining. And if you want to say the rain stopped, 雨停了 停了 is stopped. So 雨停了. And if we want to describe the rain is very heavy, so we don't use the word heavy, we use the word big. So 雨很大.大雨 is heavy rain. 雨很大. Or the opposite is 雨很小. 雨很小, like light rain. Okay, so these are all the weather words. 天气 is weather. 今天天气怎么样？今天天气好吗？天气预报 is forecast. And then we have all this kind of word. We have 雨, just now we said, it's rain. 下雨 is the action of raining. And 雪 is snow. 雪 then it's snowing. 下雪了. Snow 下雪了. And wind is 风. If the wind blows really strong, we can say 刮风. 刮风. And then this one is very similar with the English and Japanese word 台风. 台风. And because it's kind of a wind, so we use the same verb. So 刮台风. Oh, 今天刮台风了. I think in Singapore is quite lucky we don't really have this, but if you are in other parts of the world, I know, typhoon is kind of like, it's quite scary. Wu is fog, and we don't say 下雾了 or 刮雾了, we say 起雾了, so it's like rising or falling. 起雾了. And this is quite new word actually, like especially in China, I think. 雾霾 is like a smog. 雾霾is like fog combined with like all the dust in the air. So 雾霾. And if you want to describe the air quality, like 空气质量. 空气质量 like air quality. 空气质量怎么样? So how's the air quality? So if you know the formula, like something something 怎么样 means how's something, then you can say 空气质量怎么样? Or even like how are you today? 你今天怎么样? 你今天怎么样? But just a side note, we don't really ask people how are you in the Chinese culture. Like it's quite different. Unless you want the person to describe really what happened today. So you can ask them, 你今天怎么样? And it's not a way for greeting. Like for greeting, we just like very casual. And if you want to say the air pollution, we can say 空气污染. 空气污染. 污染 is pollution. And if you want to describe something like data-based, like use index, we can say 指数. 指数. Okay, I think next week we're going to go through like how to order in a Chinese restaurant, and how to order different things. Like at a food court when you want to say something more casual, and if you don't want something, you want something like more or less something. So we can use different kinds of words to describe. And after that we'll be like asking about directions. So that is, I know we have GPS now, but it is still useful. Like if your phone is not working in a foreign country, or for some reason that your GPS is not working, so you can still use the traditional way to ask. And how do we how to take a taxi. Yeah. And before we end today's section, I want to go back to this again. So I'm not sure whether you can feel like the pitches, like when people speak. Like for example, if I take any Chinese, for example, if you flip through like every Chinese textbook, and if you see the tones, I'm sure that you will. Let me just quickly open up one textbook, maybe just the HSK. Like if I'll just read out something, let you to feel the tones. And even for native, actually, we do have to, practice the tones when we were young. And if you really want to, become an announcer or like a news anchor, you really have to train. Not everybody in China can speak, standard Mandarin. Like, actually, very few, because Mandarin took from the Beijing dialect. If you're not from, those part in China, like, yeah, your Mandarin will be like quite affected. So for example, let me, which one should I choose? Oh, let's choose from the, the most easy one. I mean the easiest one. 你叫什么名字? Can you feel that? 你 like very low. 你叫什么名字? 你叫什么名字? Let me put the slide to the four tones. Okay, so 你 is the third one. 你叫 the fourth tone. 什么 shen is the second one. M is kind of the, the neutral tone. So 你叫什么名? Ming is the second tone again. 名字你叫什么名字? So in this very short sentence, maybe you have heard it like 1,000 times. So can you identify the tones when you hear it? Let's take another one. And then 你是哪国人? 你 is the low one, the third tone. 你是 the fourth one. 哪 again the low one. 哪国 the second one. 人 second tone again. 你是哪国人? So can you feel like how the tones change in a very short sentence? But be careful, like when you first start to, really practice the tones, start very slow. Don't try to speed up before you feel very comfortable. And this one. Oh, about age. Actually, in the Chinese culture, we don't, because we have to speak, politely to people who are older than us. So we kind of like, just like in Japan and Korea as well, we do ask people's age. So it's not a taboo to ask, unless the person, don't really want to tell you. So you can say like, 你多大了? And that is like, how old are you? Like 你 the low one, 多 the first tone, 大 the fourth one, 了 natural. So 你多大了? Okay. And if you really want to speak like really, really fast, I think, let me get a longer sentence to do that. For example, this one. 桌子上有一个电脑和一本书. That is the real speed. But if I slow down, 桌子上有一个电脑和一本书. 桌子上有一个电脑和一本书. So can you feel this very different, right? It sounds very different. Like if you really isolate a word by word, like maybe it's easier to understand. But if you really want to, speak in the real speed, it does take practice. But like do the slow practice first. 桌子上有一个电脑和一本书. Maybe a few times before you can say 桌子上有一个电脑和一本书. try to break them down into phrases by phrase, like phrase by phrase. So, okay, and oh, because we were saying about the weather just now, so how about 昨天北京的天气怎么样? Oh, slowly. 昨天北京的天气怎么样? So when it's in a slow speed, you can really like listen to the pitch, listen to the tones, and then when you want to speed up, 昨天北京的天气怎么样? So all the tones will come together, will become, you know, like ups and downs, will just blending. 太热了。那明天呢？明天天气怎么样？明天天气很好，不冷不热。So that's why when you listen to Chinese people speaking, like you'll feel like, oh, like why they do all the ups and downs so fast. Okay, so if you want today's notes, it's on the Patreon page, so you can just download from the post. It's free for all the members. You can join as a free member. And I'm planning to do like more live sessions, but of different content. So if you have any suggestions, you can reach out to me, and you can leave as a comment, or you can email me, because I believe that you know, learning should be interactive. So maybe I will do like the Hanzi writing next time. So Hanzi is something that bothering like majority of the Chinese learners as well. But if you really break down into stroke by stroke, or break down into radicals or the meanings, it is not that difficult. And writing sometimes, you know, like drawing can really help us to de-stress. Okay, so if you do not have any questions, I'm going to end today's section, and we can. I will see you next week, and I hope you can give me some suggestions on, you know, how to improve the live and what kind of content like you'll find more interesting to watch. Okay, so bye for now. 大家晚安。